I have a fairly good range of popular cartridges and even some unpopular cartridges in my lineup here that you cannot see, but I am pointing at them, including the 223, the 30-06 Springfield, the 6.5 Creedmoor. Sadly, of course, not everybody's going to like all three of these. A lot of people are going to like the 30-06. There's going to be some 6.5 fanboys. There's a fistful of people that are going to like this 223 Remington as well. Alright, now all three of these set aside. Even this 6.5 Creedmoor, guys. It's going off to the side. We've got a few, popular rounds. 223. Very popular in an AR platform. 30-06. Very popular in the bolt-action hunting rifle area. 6.5 Creedmoor, popular among many people. But we've got three more. We've got the 8th most popular bolt-action hunting cartridge, 7mm08. That is the 308 necked down to 7mm, as obviously explained. And the 7mm Remington Magnum. Now, if we look at the comparison between the 30-06 and the 7mm Remington Magnum, there's not much of a difference. However, the case length on the 7mm is it has more of a case length and a sharper shoulder here. You can see the shoulder is very sharp on this compared to this one. It's kind of sloped off a little more. It's also fatter cartridge. But overall, case length itself, very, very close. Now, the 223 and the 6.5 Creedmoor. Up to the shoulder, same length, a little longer, actually quite a bit longer on the 6.5 Creedmoor. Also, much fatter on the 6.5 Creedmoor. These longer, sleeker bullets will help it with the wind deflection. Other than that, this 7mm08, it doesn't make much of a difference. Out to 800 yards, the trajectory is roughly the same, actually. So, after 800 yards, however, this 6.5 Creedmoor is going to take over because of the long, sleek bullets. For hunting, I'd prefer the 7mm08 just because it has a larger frontal diameter, because it is a 7mm instead of a 6.5mm. And you're not going to be shooting much past 800 yards. And if you're shooting 800 yards with either of these, really, you're probably doing match grade. You're not going to do a lot of that with hunting. Generally, you want to keep it inside of 300 yards. In which case, this is perfectly elk capable. So is this. This is also very elk capable within 300 yards. And past 300 yards, you don't want to be touching much elk with this or this. And you should never be touching elk with this. So elk, off the table. Now deer, we can put this back on, but only for 100 and below. Once we get up to 100, that goes back out again. That is actually not great for anything past 150, 200 yards unless you're target shooting, in which case it's fine. But this 6.5 Creedmoor is very interesting, and I'm going to compare it to something else. But for right now, let's look at the 7mm08 up next to the 30-06. Much, much larger this 30-06 is. Diameter bullet and case length. This is very short compared to the 06. And obviously there's other things. But just looking at it, you'd think, oh, 06 is going to take the cake. Actually, with a lot of bullets, the 7mm08 outruns the 30-06, not by much, and it's only within 400 yards. But outside of 400 yards, this 30-06, no matter what bullet, no matter when, it is going to take the lead. And this trajectory Actually, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to check the numbers. But this 7mm08, pretty sure, has like exactly the same trajectory as this 30-06. Basically no difference. And the 6.5 Creedmoor, it's a fair amount flatter than this 30-06, especially with this bullet here. And this is the Remington Corlocks. Obviously, it's not a fair fight against these Hornady 147 grain match grade bullets. They're made for long range shooting, especially at targets. So between these two, I definitely take this one for overall anything and everything, because it can take anything and everything. But this one for long range. Definitely if I'm taking deer, I want this one just due to long range, especially here in Oregon. You're going to find a lot of desert plains, long shots on the east side of the state. Okay. So all that being said, 7mm Remington Magnum right here versus the 30-06 Springfield. Definitely going with the 7mm. Quite a bit more power behind it. With a 162 grain Hornady Precision Hunter ELDX and a 172 grain, or 178 grain with the same bullet. This one outruns it by quite a bit. Now, roughly the same case length as I had mentioned before, but this one outruns it by quite a bit. It's actually by about 400 foot-pounds of energy and about 500 feet per second. Now, feet per second, I'm not looking at that for if I'm hunting, but once it tips below 1900 feet per second, definitely not going to expand as much as you'd want it to, in which case this is amazing for long-range deer, even compared next to the 6.5 Creedmoor and the 7mm08. These two are amazing cartridges, both. And honestly, I'm torn between the two. Bigger frontal diameter, more stopping power, especially for dangerous game and bears in Alaska if you're doing like a moose hunt or caribou hunt or a bear hunt. You're going to want bigger frontal diameter. But if you want long range for the caribou hunt, as I had said, you're going to want this. You're going into bear territory, sure, so it makes sense to have the 30-06, but you'll want the 7mm for range, as well as just pure ballistic glory, because it is such a great cartridge in that case. Now, this is the insane one. I contemplated it. This is a 338 Lapua Magnum. This dwarfs the 7mm Remington Magnum and the 300 Ultra Magnum. I don't have the 300 Ultra Magnum. Don't have enough ammo. Actually, I don't have any ammo for that currently. But, oh my goodness. This thing, ballistically insane. You shouldn't really be hunting much of anything with it. However, it is possible. You can be shooting, especially here. I've seen it done, actually. So I've seen it done. But this one, if you're not afraid of recoil, like you are not recoil sensitive at all, and you're going to be shooting super, super long distances, openly, just stupidly long distance, I'm looking at a range here that I could shoot with this thing, and that's 3,000 yards. This is what you want. However, like I said, you're not going to be able to take much of a ethical shot at 1,000, 2,000 yards just because of the distance. But I like it for this reason only. Size difference between this 338 Lapua Magnum and this 30-06. I was actually holding it off the ground, or off the table, to get the size the same. This thing is so long and fat that this almost, well, it fits in a Magnum length action quite well, but it's tight. This 30-06 is dwarfed even this by this 338 Lapua Magnum. And I like the frontal diameter and the bullet size only about this 338 Lapua. The rifle that this 338 Lapua is in is about 5 pounds. Or no, 7 pounds, not 5, sorry. And it kicks like this 30-06 and this 7mm combined. Whereas this, which is perfectly deer capable, I've seen and heard a lot of guys kill deer with a 223 perfectly fine one shot. So this 223, very deer capable. 6.5 Creedmoor, very deer capable. 7mm 08, very deer capable. 7mm Remington Magnum, amazingly deer capable, to the point where I feel this is the best overall cartridge, but not quite. So what this, why would you even need this for deer? Deer, don't get it. Don't need it at all. You really, for deer, at the most, are going to need a 7mm Remington Magnum, and that's the biggest you'll probably ever need as far as power. I've seen 2 guys same day within 30 minutes kill 2 deer, one shot with a 300 Win Mag. I didn't think it did that bad. They were shooting 210 ELDXs. No. Yeah, 210 grain ELDX Hornadies. And they took them down like that, out like a light. 28 Nosler. You're not going to need that, but it's not going to leave as much lead behind. You don't need a 338 Lapua for deer. Ever. Will it have more stopping power? Oh, yeah. Do you need it? No. Okay, now that I'm done bashing the 338 Lapua, this baby is a Nosler Accubon, so it actually is better, or it's easier to kill with this than this, mainly because this is an ELD match grade, so the bullet doesn't expand near as much. This one expands quite a bit, especially since it's a 338. So that's it. That's all I've got towards this. Definitely, if you're going stupidly long ranges at moose or elk, beautiful. Anything else, 7mm. If you're going on a sheep hunt, 300 Win Mag. If you're going on a caribou hunt, 7mm. If you're going on a deer hunt, 7mm 08. 6 short range, 223, shooting medium range or long range, 30-06 or 7mm Remington Magnum will do. If you're going on a moose hunt, either of these two or 300 Win Mag, perfect. 6.5 Creedmoor. Honestly, antelope. 6.5 Creedmoor. 7mm 08 223, or 25-06 and 6mm Creedmoor. Those are my 5 top picks for antelope. Obviously, this can be traded out for 243, whatever you need. But if you're going short range, 223 for basically anything that you can legally hunt a 223 with. If you're going super short range. Now, 7mm 08. Amazing all-around bullet. Just, of all things, what I think are the top 3 bullet. What the top 3 hunting rounds are. I'd have to say 7mm 08. 30-06 is definitely up there. I'm going to have to give it honorable mention, though. 7mm Remington Magnum is definitely number 2. Number 1. No, actually, I'll give this one number 1. 300 Win Mag, number 2. 7mm 08, number 3. 30-06, honorable mention. 6.5 Creed, honorable mention. These 2. It's got its purpose. They're there. Anything else? 300 Ultra Mag. I give it honorable mention. Basically anything else you want to hunt with. If you have it, perfect. I'm not going to say any round is bad, any round is good. They're all capable of what they have to do. This one's definitely, at least with this bullet, it's definitely purpose built. I'm going to say it. Now, here's the cool comparison. This, obviously, is a 338 Lapua Magnum, and this is a 12 gauge, 3.5 inch bismuth, number 2 shot shell. Why does the 338 only look small next to a shotgun shell? That's my question. And even then, this thing, looking at all 7 of these options, this thing is still massive. It was definitely number 1, and now that I have this 12 gauge shell, it's number 2. And only dwarfed by this, one of the very large, any of the very, very large Weatherby cartridges. It's stupidly huge. And 223, 22, same size bullet. Varmint, predator, coyotes, or whatever. Hogs. And that's it. That's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. You can come back next time, or don't. It's totally up to you. Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time when I am still bashing cartridges that are too big for what they're worth. Like the 338 Lapua Magnum. And making fun of rounds that have their purpose, and it's not hunting. Like the 6.5 Creedmoor. But anyways, thanks for coming and watching, and might see you next time. And if you don't choose to come back, then I won't.